what do you have planned for the summer?
I don't have a whole lot. We're gonna take him to Montana to look at some schools and do some fishing.
Hello guests and welcome to my speech, Life Beyond the Prairie. Last summer I had the great opportunity to study abroad in Viña del Mar, Chile. It was one of my dreams to always live outside the United States for an extended period of time. In choosing where I wanted to go somewhere where it was completely different from my home culture, and Chile fit that perfectly. One morning I was picked up from my host mom after arriving the night before. I had so much anxiety I thought I was going to explode. While it was stressful, it was also the best feeling in the world to be surrounded and overwhelmed by new things and new senses. Going forward in my speech, I want to explain how the people, the language, and the culture shaped my experience and changed me forever. What I thought Chile was going to be like and what soon became my reality in my new home were far from the same. First, I want to talk about the language. While I had taken a few Spanish courses before going to Chile in high school and in college, I didn't really know much more than the basics. I knew how to read and write, I knew my shapes and my colors, but as far as comprehending and conversing with people, it was really hard. On top of that, I expected my host family to speak some English when I got there, but they spoke basically none. It was really hard for me at first because I wanted to form a relationship with them, but it was really hard because we couldn't converse. After the first month, I became a lot more proficient in Spanish. I was able to understand and learn, and that helped me with my relationships with my family and friends. Waking up every day and understanding a little more each time was something that I can't even experience anywhere else, and it was a satisfaction unparalleled by any other. Once the language started coming to me easier, the culture really began to enlighten me. I really wanted to live somewhere that was completely outside my comfort zone, and that's what I got with Chile. South America's culture is completely different than North America. They're slow, and they're relaxed, and they're really family-centered, to the point where I had one host brother that was 24 and one that was 30, and both of them still lived at home with their mom. And that was really normal for someone that was from a South American country. After I started traveling around to other countries around Chile, I got to learn their history and their culture, and that's when I really started to appreciate it. Their culture in Chile really taught me to slow down and enjoy every moment and not take life so seriously. After some time studying the culture and learning the language, the people made for the greatest gift of studying abroad. I really became close with my host mom and my host brothers. My host brother Fabrizio was really strong-willed, and he loved to debate politics, to the point where one time we got in such a heated argument that we didn't talk to each other for 2 days after that. He taught me to look at life and politics and all of that in a different light. He taught me to see America and Americans from a lens outside of the United States and take a look at how other people view us. My other host brother, Aldo, was a kind and thoughtful person. He took me to all of his rugby matches, and he also had me come along with his friends to asados, which were Chilean barbecues. He taught me to be what it was like to be an older brother that was kind and thoughtful to his younger siblings. So having to come back to the United States and be an older brother again was a great reward. My host mom was the sweetest lady in the world, and she was always made a time available to need to talk to me if I was homesick or missing my mom or dad. She even made me barbecue ribs one night, which were my favorite commodity or my favorite dish back home, which was great. Lastly, I finally want to talk about the basketball team. I was on a basketball team in Chile, which was for the university, and all of them were the best friends I've ever made. They took me under their wing and they showed me a good time day in and day out, which was awesome, and I thank them for everything. Once I neared the end of my stay in Chile, I looked back and realized how I started to feel just at home in Chile as I did in my home back in Nebraska. My experience taught me that exploring the world was not something to be taken for granted. Learning a new language and culture is one of the most beautiful things, and that you should always cherish that. I think the best way to learn about yourself is to go outside your culture and live in a different culture and leave it. Thank you so much for coming to my speech, and I wanted to give you a little insight as what it's like to live outside the prairie. Thank you. Is that good?
Very good. Very good, Sean. You did good. Yeah, you did really, really
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.